team like right now, and how do you get back geared up in time for Saturday?
You know, I don't think it's I think obviously after the game is probably obviously not. You know, we're not going to be the happiest team in the world after what's happened the last couple of weeks here, but you know, it's postseason play. You know, the regular season's over. We finished 9-3, and that's all there is to it. You know, I think you really want to. We put a stamp on the way we end the season. You know, we would end the way we wanted to, obviously, but 9-3 is a very good season as far as I'm concerned, especially what we were picked to do and all that kind of stuff. So it's postseason play. It's a different mentality.
Is there a sense that you need to win this game to sort of salvage some of the big goals?
Well, there's not a sense. We need to win it. You know, there's not a sense. We got to win this game. You know, I think Virginia Tech's gotten better every game they've played, obviously, and ever since we beat them, they've gotten better. It seems like they've just been unstoppable. But in the last couple of games, we kind of fell off a little bit. But I think that everybody's mental state of it being a game after the regular season being over, and it being a postseason game, I think that can retransfer this team, reform this team into what we were the first of the year.
What do you feel like is not working right now with the offense? What wasn't clicking the last couple of weeks?
I think we got the run game going earlier in the game in South Carolina, but we were able to maintain that, and you know, that's just the ups and downs of the game. You know, I think that when we put in situations where we had to do things like throw the ball, of course, I think we didn't. You know, we hadn't have Phillip on the left side and just hadn't been able to protect as well as we wanted to over there. And I think that, you know, you see that in offensive line sometimes when everybody's not healthy. But you know, I don't think we got to, you know, do anything drastic, make any drastic changes. I think we're fine. It's just the mental state of the team needs to get good for this Virginia Tech game.
The coaches have said y'all have been practicing really well the past couple weeks, and just, you know, maybe not being able to carry it over to game day. What's been the, you know, disconnect there, I guess?
Yeah, I think practice has been fine the last couple of weeks, agreeing with Coach. You know, I think that we've had really good positive practices, really good mental. Guys have just been really positive during the week, and it seems like you said, the last two Saturdays haven't been, you know, as we'd hoped them to be. But you know, I don't think you can predict that kind of thing. I think when you show up on Saturday and another team is able to get advantages like turnovers on you, obviously at NC State, and Saturday when we just couldn't, you know, we were kind of playing catch up most of the game and couldn't get, well, when we got tied up, you know, we got to capitalize when we have the chance to do that.
Is it a matter of just hitting a play here or there, maybe?
Yeah,
to get that
I think
momentum?
so. I think it's just momentum. You know, I think that's something we've been playing against the last couple of weeks. You know, I think especially when you're on the road, and momentum is something you can't grab. You know, I think when another team's getting turnovers and capitalize on momentum, but you know, a lot of people don't realize how football is a game of emotion and momentum, and emotion really comes into play when you have the momentum, and when you're able to get, you know, kind of get the crowd into it and get your guys into it, and then when you get the ball on the opposite 15, you're able to score easier. So that's just been our enemy the last couple of weeks is momentum.
Can you take any confidence out of what y'all did to them the first time?
Yeah, definitely. I think you can definitely watch the film and see how we were able to run the ball on them and then throw the ball on them and be successful against this team. So I think, you know, that's what, you know, attitude we need to take into this week. You know, we've already beat this team by 20 points before. You know, what's going to stop us this time? You know, I think our defense is that can be huge for our defense, to be able to stop them like they did in Blacksburg.
What? Go ahead.
How much of a motivator is it going down there Tampa 2 years ago against Georgia Tech and losing? You got a lot of guys mentioned that getting oranges thrown at you in the field and having that feeling.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously was a crappy kind of feeling, but I think at the same time, man, we played our tails off in that game. I mean, offensively, we played one of the best games we played all season, scoring points and stuff and running the ball. So, I think hopefully if we're able to do that, you know, I think we'll be. If we can run the ball and throw the ball and just be successful, we can beat anybody. So we got to be able to give momentum when we have that opportunity. We got to be able to create turnovers and obviously hold on to the ball when we have opportunities.
You as a senior, do you guys get together and say, look, what we're going to do, this is our last chance, and You know, is there anything that just the seniors get together and talk about?
I don't think so. It's already been done. You know, I think we've already gotten together as seniors in the team, and I think we realize what the implications of this game are. I don't think you need to motivate many players to know that this is ACC Championship, and which is what we've been working for all year, and all summer, and all spring. This is what it's about. The postseason. You know, this is what this is what the fun part of football is. You work all year to get where we are today, and I think there's nothing to be negative about. You know, obviously you're carrying there can be a little hangover from the South Carolina loss, but not too much. You know, I think that game every year, obviously it's a huge game for our fans, a huge game for us, but you can't get carried away in whether you lose or win, especially if you got a championship game to play the next week.
How would you assess run blocking as a whole across the line, maybe the last 3 or 4 games?
Yeah, I think it's just been just tough breaks. You know, I think we've actually created some runs that have been very successful, and we just gotta be more consistent with it. I think it's just been the inconsistency in the running game. I think early on in every game we've came out and been pretty successful off the first bat running the ball, but I think just the inconsistency has been our downfall with the running game. You know, I think if we can just open holes early and late and then just keep it going the whole game, I think we can be very successful against anybody. You know, I think to be a championship team, you have to be able to run the ball, and we hadn't been able to do that the last couple of weeks. But I think if we can go into this game and just totally, just get focused on what we have to do in order to run the ball, because I'm telling you, if you can run the ball, the passing, that's going to open up, and you're not even going to worry about that. You know, we'll be able to throw the ball all day if we can run the ball, and I think that's with any team.
Where's the disconnect? Because you're not the only one that said that practices have been very good.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying that. Where's the disconnect? Because teams typically play like they practice. Coaches have always said
yeah,
that. But it's
definitely
not happened over the last several weeks. What do you think?
I don't know. I can't. I don't know what the disconnect has been. I think you could have something to do with being on the road and being in tough environments. It's a young team. I think that especially, we've had some problems when it's come to giving up big plays and not being able to capitalize on getting big plays. So I think, anytime you can go, like I said earlier, momentum has been our downfall. And I think, when you go into a game, you can play like you practice all day, but if you can't create no momentum, you're not going. It's almost impossible to win when the other team is just capturing that momentum and they're just keeping it on their side the whole game. So I think. I don't think practice has anything to do with what's happened in the game as far as the momentum and the turnovers and stuff like that. We've been practicing really hard, and to be able to capture momentum is more of a thing that just you can't predict. You have to be able to do that yourself.
But don't you get momentum by executing what you're supposed to do?
I think so, but I think a lot of momentum. I think momentum can be created a lot of ways. I think when you don't execute, that's a tough question. Momentum can be captured like I said, a lot of different ways. Teams, you can be executing and somebody just to make a great play. I think when you can sometimes you can do all you can and another team just make a great play and that creates momentum. I think both teams can be executing something just wrong just happen, and I don't think that all it doesn't boil down to execution every time, but I do think. Momentum's just different. One of those things that can, anytime during the game, it can be captured, and it's not necessarily off execution.
You haven't had many great plays the last 2 weeks.
Exactly. The big plays have not been going our way the last couple of weeks, and I think that's something we had the first 8 games when we were just throwing. We were having huge plays, and sometimes when you have, obviously we had and I'm not putting anybody at blame, but when you have a drop ball early in the game. We had a touchdown going, and that's momentum. We got to be able to take advantage of momentum when we have the opportunity, and we had an opportunity there to grab momentum. And that's not the only case. I'm just the only for instance I have right now, but
How much have you guys missed Phillip on the left side of the line? It seemed like the last 2 games of the show maybe we might have underrated him a little bit in his ability over there to be a force and be a guy that's
well, I think anytime you got a guy who's been there all spring, all camp, and he's played there, he's comfortable there, and you take someone who's played left guard and you put them at left tackle, and you got someone coming in left guard who hadn't been David, who'd missed a lot of games at left guard. It's just that you got 2 positions there that are not as crisp as they need to be versus one position. And you know, I think that's something you just have to face when you're offensive line. You face injuries throughout the season, and that's just normal. You know, I think you know that's happened to us a couple of times. You know, within the last couple of years, we faced adversity with guys getting hurt, and that's the downfall of a long season sometimes.
You talked about momentum, and it's kind of that intangible quality, but where does it tangibly show up? Maybe on the sidelines, or I know you don't huddle, but
yeah,
kind of that feeling on the field between teammates.
Yeah, I think it's just the way guys carry themselves on the sidelines and stuff like that. You know, but I believe that you know it creates a whole another force within yourself when you grab momentum. Like I said, when we gave NC State the ball 3 times inside the 20, that obviously creates a negative thought in guys' heads, especially for us. I mean, it puts you really at a like, oh, you know, what are they going to do? You know, offensively, when you're inside the 20, you know, that opens up their whole offense. They can do whatever they want right there, and it really just completely turns around the game. If it was going in our direction, it completely gives the other team the full advantage to be able to score and be able to take that momentum into the kickoff team and the defense, and just throughout the whole team.
Landon, obviously all 3 losses have been on the road, and all 9 wins were at home. Any theories on how a neutral site's going to play out?
I think hopefully to our best. You know, I think it's, having the crowd being half and half could definitely help us out more than anything. You know, I don't know how much the crowd's affected us the last couple weeks, and I don't think it has as much. But you know, playing in a neutral site could be different for this team. We haven't done it, and I think that you know, change is always a good thing. So I think when we can go into Charlotte with 50% of our fans and 50% Virginia Tech's fans, noise is really going to be a factor there for either team. I don't expect, but you know, obviously it's going to really help you to keep momentum. I mean, that can keep your crowd going. That can get your guys into it.
Coach Morris talked about Taj maybe not having confidence that he had earlier this year. Are you guys, as a team, of the same mind that you don't have confidence as a team, or do you have less confidence in Taj?
No, that's neither one of those. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think Taj is uncomfortable a little bit because he's been taking a little more hits the last couple of weeks than he's used to. You know, obviously he hasn't been getting protected as much as we'd like. You know, there's been obviously with Philip getting hurt. There's been some problems there with protecting him, but that's common, like I said. But when you're getting hit as a quarterback, and even if he's getting the ball off, it's not the sacks that matter. I don't care if you come to me and say we gave up 10 sacks. Okay, well, how many times did the quarterback get hit? If the quarterback's getting hit 20 times and you're giving up 10 sacks, whether he's getting sacked or hit, it doesn't matter. He's uncomfortable in the pocket, and that's been the problem. I think Tosh has been very uncomfortable back there with the hits he's been taking, and obviously we saw that on Saturday night when he was kind of running out of the pocket a little bit when he didn't need to. And I think that's common. You know, when a quarterback gets hit, he's not going to feel safe like that, even when he's feeling a little bit of pressure, but it's not enough pressure to draw a sack. He's not where he needs to be, and I think that's something we're going to have to really focus on this week, is making sure Taj is very comfortable back there, getting his confidence back in us and protecting him. And that's huge in a game when the quarterback can sit in the pocket and just find who he needs to find open. You know, that's very helpful.
So he's lost confidence in the line.
I don't think he's lost confidence in us. He just is not comfortable in the pocket, and I don't know if it's his confidence, but I mean, I'm not Taj. I can't say. I don't know if I hope he's confident in this. I think talking to him after the game, I think he's very confident in this. I just don't think he's where he needs to be back there. He's shuffling around. He's not. He could be. You know, it's not necessarily the offensive line. He's not confident that they're not going to blitz him. You know, it's not just us.
What do you think? I mean, obviously ACC title at stake Saturday, but perception. What do you think? What's at stake in totality Saturday? Program.
What's at stake? I think 20 years of not winning the ACC Championship. You know, I think it's everything on the table. You know, I think when everything goes away if you can win Saturday night. You know, I think people forget about South Carolina. They forget about NC State. They say, remember that Clemson team that won the 2011 ACC Championship? They don't say, you remember that Clemson team that lost to South Carolina and NC State? And well, we didn't think they were going to win the ACC Championship, but they did. No, they don't talk about that.
You think the win in and of itself will make people forget about 3 straight blowouts to South Carolina?
I think so. I don't. You know, as a senior here, if we're able to win this weekend and take that with us, South Carolina, but I've always wanted a championship here, and I think to be able to bring this program a championship is more important than beating South Carolina this week. Is more, anytime you can put a ring on a player's finger, it's better than just a win in a game. That's my theory.
It's all a matter of perception, because if you had lost 3 of the first 4 games and won 8 straight and were playing for a conference championship, the whole mentality of the fan base would probably be different than it is now.
Exactly. We were picked to lose like the 3 of the first 4. So, and then when we're on that high and winning 8 in a row, and then you all of a sudden have some things go wrong in the system, and people just start questioning what's going on, and maybe it's just everything's not perfect all the time, but like you said, people they expect you to lose now instead of win if it was reversed. So I think that I think this team's mentality is just going to be very positive this week. This team's bounced back every time we've lost a game, and every time we've won a game, we've bounced back. But it's just going to have to be refocused on this being the postseason and the regular season being over.
Thank you, Landon.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.